All right, so let's dive into AI machine learning and deep learning.
Okay.
You've probably heard these terms. I mean, they're everywhere, right? But what do they actually mean?
Hmm.
And how are they different from each other? That's what we're going to cover in this deep dive.
Right.
We've got two great sources to help us unpack all this.
Okay.
An online tutorial from Simply Learn and a blog post from MIT Professional Education.
Sounds good.
I mean, these technologies are already everywhere, you know?
Yeah?
Think about it, your phone, your car,
Uh-huh.
financial markets, even efforts to protect the environment.
It's true. They really are having a huge impact on almost every aspect of our lives.
Exactly. So how about we start with the basics?
Sure.
What is AI?
Well, in a nutshell, AI, or artificial intelligence, is basically the concept of giving machines human-like intelligence.
So like making machines that can think and act like we do?
Precisely.
Wow, okay.
The goal is to create machines that can learn, solve problems, and make decisions.
So instead of just following instructions, they can like think for themselves.
Yeah, kind of like how we do.
That's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. It really is.
Can you give me like a real-world example so I can kind of wrap my head around this?
Absolutely. Think about when you ask your Amazon Echo a question.
Okay.
You say, Alexa, what's the weather like today? That's the input, right?
Right.
Alexa, which is powered by AI, processes your voice and figures out what you're asking.
Uh-huh.
And then it comes up with an answer
Okay.
and gives it back to you. That's the output.
Oh, I see.
The idea is to create machines that can process information and respond in a way that feels natural.
Like you're talking to another person almost.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. So where does machine learning fit into all this?
Okay, so machine learning, or ML, as it's often called,
Okay.
is a powerful subset of AI
Okay.
that uses special algorithms to build what are called predictive models.
Predictive model.
Yeah, and it's all about learning from data, recognizing patterns in the data, and then using those patterns to make predictions or decisions.
So it's like, I don't know, like when Spotify recommends music based on what you've listened to before.
That's a perfect example. It looks at what you like, identifies patterns in the music you enjoy, and then suggests other songs or artists that you might also like.
That's really cool. I never thought about it like that.
It's pretty amazing how it works.
So ML is like a tool that AI uses. They're not like competing with each other.
You got it. ML is part of the bigger picture of AI. They work together. You could say that ML helps AI achieve its goals.
Okay, so the more data an ML algorithm processes, the better it gets at whatever task AI has set for it.
Exactly. It's like a team. AI sets the goal, and ML provides the way to get there.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So they work together kind of like a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
AI uses ML to improve, and ML studies data to make AI better.
And this combo, this partnership, leads to some pretty incredible benefits.
Like what?
Well, we're talking about being able to use more and more data sources,
Uh-huh.
making smarter decisions, and just increasing efficiency across the board.
So if AI is the vision and ML is the engine, where does deep learning come in?
Deep learning.
Yeah.
It's often considered the cutting edge of machine learning.
Okay.
And the really cool thing is it's inspired by the way our human brains work,
Oh, wow.
with those complex networks of neurons.
Right.
So deep learning uses artificial neural networks to analyze and make sense of data, just like our brains do.
So it's like machine learning, but on a much deeper level.
You could say that, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what makes it so different from regular machine learning then?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
A traditional machine learning algorithm might look at data in a straight line.
Okay.
Deep learning uses multiple layers of interconnected neural networks.
Like stacking levels of learning on top of each other.
Exactly. Each layer builds upon the previous one, enabling deep learning to handle huge amounts of data,
Wow.
both structured and unstructured. So it can tackle incredibly complex tasks.
So it's like machine learning, but with a much deeper level of analysis and insight.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it.
Good.
So deep learning can analyze like an image and identify the objects in it,
Yes.
and then understand how those objects are related to each other, and then make decisions based on that whole analysis.
It's really quite remarkable.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
No.
The Simply Learn tutorial mentioned something about deep learning being used to detect diseases.
Yes, like diabetic retinopathy from images of the retina.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's a powerful example of how deep learning can be used in healthcare.
So it's not just about robots and self-driving cars.
Not at all. AI, ML, and DL are being used in so many different fields.
Like robotics, finance, transportation.
Exactly. And we're seeing some groundbreaking results.
I can't wait to hear more about those applications.
We'll definitely dive into those in part 2.
But before we do, I think it's important to remember that these are just tools. right?
That's a great point.
It's not just about the technology itself,
Yeah.
but how we choose to use it.
Absolutely. The MIT article really emphasizes that.
They talk about using data to solve real-world problems.
Like environmental problems.
Exactly. It's not just about collecting data. It's about understanding it and making predictions and using those predictions to make good decisions.
It's about using these tools to improve our world.
Yeah, to make a positive impact.
Exactly. The MIT article outlines a four-step approach.
Oh yeah, what was it again?
Well, it starts with data comprehension, then moves to making predictions based on that data,
Right.
then using those predictions to inform decisions, and finally understanding the causal relationships to come up with effective solutions.
So it's about more than just crunching numbers. It's about using these tools to better understand the world around us.
Right.
To be honest, though, all this talk about data and causal relationships, it's a little intimidating. You know,
It can seem complicated, but you don't have to be a data scientist to understand the basics or to appreciate what these technologies can do.
that's good to hear.
The key takeaway is that AI, ML, and DL can help us tackle some of the biggest challenges we face.
And that's something we can all get behind.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely excited to learn more, and I bet our listeners are too.
Me too.
So how about we move on to those real-world applications you mentioned? I'm curious to hear how AI, ML, and DL are already shaping the world we live in.
Let's do it. We'll jump into those in part 2 of this deep dive.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so let's jump into some of the really cool ways AI, machine learning, and deep learning are being used out there in the real world.
You mentioned robots before, and honestly, that's the stuff that really gets me excited.
Yeah.
Remember when Simply Learn talked about Sophia and Aibo?
Oh, yeah, those are some pretty amazing examples. Sophia, the humanoid robot that can actually talk and even express emotions. And
Uh-huh.
Aibo, the robot dog that can learn and interact with its owner. It's incredible how AI is pushing the limits of what machines can do.
It really is like something out of science fiction.
I know, right? But hey, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
There are plenty of AI applications that are already having a big impact on our lives, even if we don't always realize it.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me an example.
All right, how about something as simple as machine translation?
Okay.
You've probably used Google Translate before, right?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Well, guess what? That's AI in action.
Really?
Yep. It uses some pretty complex algorithms to understand and translate languages instantly.
Wow.
It's helping people communicate across different countries and cultures.
It's not always perfect, but it's gotten a lot better over the years.
Definitely. And that's thanks to advances in machine learning.
I never really thought of Google Translate as AI, but it makes sense.
It's amazing how these technologies are becoming so integrated into our everyday routines.
It really is. So speaking of seamless integration, let's talk about self-driving cars.
Oh, yeah, they've been in development for a while now, but we're starting to see more and more of them on the roads.
Right.
And that's a prime example of how AI, machine learning, and deep learning all come together to create something truly remarkable.
Okay, break it down for me.
Yeah.
How do those three technologies work together in a self-driving car?
Well, think of it like this. A self-driving car uses AI to understand its surroundings kind of like a human driver would.
Okay.
It relies on